Good morning all. I am Lavanya, working as Associate Professor in the Department of ACE from Ramchandra College of Engineering, Eluru. Today we are going to discuss about stability and frequency compensation techniques of an operational amplifiers from Linear IC application course. So we will discuss about what is stability of an op-amp. So before going to this topic, as we have seen in previous video, where why we need to go for the stability of an op-amp, because when we discuss about AC characteristics of an op-amp, there we have frequency response. From the frequency response characteristics, you will be having magnitude and phase responses. So if you see from there, because of the magnitude response or the phase response, it will produce some oscillations. So as it produces sustained oscillations, which leads the system to go into unstable. So in order to avoid oscillations, we have to keep the system to be stable, and to keep the system to be stable, we have to go for the following method: frequency compensation techniques. So for those things, we are going to discuss about the stability of an op-amp. So for this, we are going to consider the block diagram of non-inverting amplifier circuit. So we know that op-amps are rarely used in open loop configuration because of its high gain. So if you see from this block diagram, open loop configuration means you will not be having this feedback network. Without this, it is said to be open loop configuration of operational amplifier, where this gives ideally infinite gain. So if you see the open loop configuration, it will be having high gain. But practically, this is not possible because its gain, the system to be said to be stable, the gain of a circuit should be small. So as gain increases with the open loop system, as the gain increases, it is not possible to use it in practical circuits. So as gain increases, it starts producing the oscillations. So it makes the system to be unstable. So we have to reduce the oscillations, and to keep the system to be stable, we have to maintain the gain to be lesser value. So for this, practically, we are going to consider the closed loop configuration. So if you consider this closed loop configuration, it is necessary to study the effect of feedback on the circuit stability. So how this feedback network will affect the stability of a given circuit. So from the block diagram, we can see that the block between output and input is referred to as output. This is the output. Sorry, this is the output, and here we have input. If you see only this part, you will be having one forward block. This forward block is connected in between input and output terminals, so which is nothing but the amplifier. And we have the block between output signal and feedback signal is referred to as a feedback block, whose gain is represented as beta, or simply we are representing it as B. Whereas here the amplifier gain is AOL. Since without this feedback, the gain of a circuit is said to be open loop gain, and it is represented as AOL of F. So the transfer function or gain of a forward block is AOL of F, and the gain of feedback block is B. So next, in order to find the open loop gain or the gain calculation, how the system becomes unstable, we are going to consider the block diagram of this circuit, and from this open loop gain or forward block gain is given as, that is, this AOL is given as V0 by VA. So V0 output voltage divided by input voltage. So here we have to consider this feedback voltage to be equal to 0. Next, if we go for closed loop gain, that is overall gain of the circuit. It is represented as AF, which is equal to V naught by Vi. That implies AOL by 1 plus AOL into B. So from this equation, AOL into B represents the loop gain, whereas 1 plus AOL into B represents the characteristic equation. So based on the behavior of this roots of characteristic equation, we can say whether the system is stable or unstable. So for that, we are considering the characteristic equation of the system, which is 1 plus AOL into B equal to 0. So from this, we can write AOL into B equal to minus 1. So if we consider the magnitude of this loop gain, you will be having AOL is equal to 1. And the phase angle will be written as angle of AOL into B is equal to either 0 degrees or 2n pi radians. So from this we can say that it produces oscillations and hence the system becomes unstable. So now from this we can summarize what are the conditions that makes the system to be stable. The conditions for the system to be stable are, first one is the closed loop gain, that is AOL into beta loop gain should be very much less, and the bandwidth of the system should be more. So in order to satisfy these conditions and to make the system to be stable, we are going for frequency compensation techniques. So what are the frequency compensation techniques that we are going to see are, first we will see what is meant by frequency compensation. So frequency compensation is implemented by modifying the gain and phase characteristics of the amplifier's open loop output or of its feedback network, or by using both, so that to avoid the conditions leading to oscillations. So for this we have two types of compensation techniques that is done by either internal or external use of resistance capacitance networks. So from this you will be having two types of frequency compensation techniques. First one is external compensation technique and other one is internal compensation technique. The external compensation technique is further divided into dominant pole, pole zero compensation and feed forward compensation techniques. So what is this external compensation and what is internal compensation? External compensation means the compensating network, that is combination of resistance and capacitance networks, are connected externally to the op-amp circuit, whereas internal compensation means this compensating network or elements are connected within the op-amp network. So this internal compensation, that means the circuit whichever it is used, internal compensation is used, are available in form of ICs, whereas for this external compensation we have to connect additional circuitry, that is compensating network is connected external to the IC or the amplifier circuit. So first we will see the dominant pole compensation technique. So what is this dominant pole compensation technique? So if you see, this is the circuit diagram of dominant pole compensation circuit, where you are having the amplifier which produces the closed loop gain of the circuit, whereas the compensating network is a combination of resistance and capacitance that is connected external to this amplifier circuit. So here the combination of R and C is named as a pole. This combination is said to be a pole, and this pole is connected beyond, that means outside to the operational amplifier. Hence this is called as dominant pole compensation circuit. So from this circuit, if we calculate the gain of a circuit, then you will be having, so without compensation, that means only with the amplifier you will be having the gain of a circuit to be this much. So gain is constant till this F1, first frequency, as frequency increases. So here we are considering with the rate of 10 kilohertz, 10 kilohertz frequency. So for every 10 kilohertz rise in frequency, there will be a gain roll-off of minus 20 dB per decade. So if we consider F1 to be 1 kilohertz, and if it is increased to F2, the frequency is 10 times increased. That is, F2 will be equal to 10 kilohertz. So as frequency increases 10 times, the gain of a circuit will be rolled down to minus 20 dB per decade. So first case it is minus 20 dB per decade. As frequency increases to 10 times, then the roll-off is increased to minus 20 dB per decade. So the second roll-off will be minus 40 dB per decade. As frequency increases further, this roll-off will be again increased 20 times. That is minus 60 dB per decade. It will be reduced. So as number of this poles has been increased, this frequencies will be increased. So here we have considered this graph for 3 poles, but generally you will be mentioning it for only one circuit. So if you see, this is the gain of a circuit where we have large or high gain. By using this compensating network, the gain of a circuit is reduced. If you see, you will be having, this is the FT, which is nothing but the dominant frequency FT. So for this frequency, you will be having this much of gain. Here the target, that is gain, is reduced, but at the same time you will be having very much less bandwidth, but we require large bandwidth too. So this is the drawback in this circuit. So we will see how this gain or this dominant frequency has been calculated. This calculation is as shown here. So if you see from the circuit, the overall gain of a circuit is denoted with A dash, which is equal to V naught by VA. So it is represented as A into, that is, this is the gain of a amplifier, only amplifier circuit. So you have oppositely, you will be having the, if you see the circuit here, you will be having a op-amp. So in addition to this, you will be having one resistor and one capacitor. And this is output terminal V0. So gain of this amplifier is considered to be A, and overall gain of this circuit is considered to be A dash. We'll be having A dash. So A dash is equal to V0 by Vin, so which is represented as A. So here we are considering it as A into, oppositely you will be having capacitance with JXC. So A into minus JXC divided by overall circuit, that is R minus JXC, where XC is written as 1 by 2 pi FC. So if you replace that, you will be having minus J into A divided by 2 pi FC by R minus J into 2 pi FC. So here you are taking 2 pi FC LCM. So you will be having 2 pi F into C into R divided by 2 pi FC. So here both numerator and denominators will be cancelling 2 pi FC, and the remaining value is A into minus J divided by 2 pi FC into R plus minus J. So if you take minus J as common, you will be having A into minus J by 2 pi FCR plus 1. And if you take minus J as common, so you can cancel minus J, and you will be getting A by 1 plus 2 pi F into RC. So from this equation, if we are considering FT, that is dominant frequency, is equal to 1 by 2 pi RC, then you can write overall gain A dash is equal to A. This A represents the open loop gain AOL by 1 plus J into F by FT. So this is dominant frequency for the given characteristics. From this circuit, it is seen that the gain of a circuit is reduced as shown in the graph previous slide. The gain of a circuit is reduced, but at the same time, reduction in bandwidth. So bandwidth is also reduced. This is the main drawback in this method. Hence, we are going for the other method, that is pole zero compensation technique. So in this pole zero compensation technique, you will be using addition to the pole 1 0 also. So if you see the circuit of this pole zero compensation, you will be having op-amp with the compensating network consisting of R1 and R2 C2 combination. So this together we call it as pole zero compensating network. So if we consider this circuit, you have to calculate what is the gain of this circuit. So here we have shown the magnitude response of the pole zero compensation technique. We will be discussing this later. First, we will see how this gain of a circuit has been calculated. So if you see the transfer function of the circuit, that is V0 by V2 is equal to, this is transfer function of compensating network alone. So what is the compensating network you will be having? First one resistor, and here you will be having a combination of resistor as well as capacitor. So here you have output voltage V0, and this is R2, this is C2. The combination of this R2 and C2 is represented as Z2, and this R1 is directly represented as Z1. So Z1 is equal to R1, whereas Z2 equal to R2 minus J omega XC2. So here you will be having V0 by V2. So here the input voltage is represented as V2. That is compensating circuit input voltage is represented as V2. So the transfer function of this circuit is represented as V0 by V2 is equal to, opposite you will be having Z2 divided by total impedance Z1 plus Z2. So from this, where Z1 is equal to R1 and Z2 is equal to R2 plus 1 by J omega C2. So if you substitute these two values in this equation, you will be having this one. So here we are taking J omega C2 in LCM in both numerator as well as denominator. So you will be getting this expression. Here we are cancelling J omega C2 both the numerator as well as denominator. Hence you will be getting 1 plus J omega R2 C2 by 1 plus J omega C2 into R1 plus R2. So now if we replace omega with the 2 pi f, you will be having expression as like this. Now from this you are going to assume f1 is equal to 1 by 2 pi R2 C2. That is the numerator you will be assuming f1. f1 is equal to 1 by 2 pi R C2. Whereas in denominator you will be assuming that f0. Their pole zero compensation frequency is represented as f0, which is equal to 1 by 2 pi C2 into R1 plus R2. So if you replace these two expressions or frequencies in this equation, you will be having overall gain A dash is equal to V0 by V2, which is equal to 1 plus J into F by F1 divided by 1 plus J into F by F0. So this is overall gain of the compensating network. Next, if we calculate the total gain, so here you have the gain V0 by V2 is the gain or transfer function of compensating network alone. But here you are having, if you want the overall gain of a circuit, you have to calculate V0 by VI. So from this, if you want to get V0 by VI, you have to multiply V2 by VI so that V2 will get cancelled. So you will be getting V0 by Vi. So here V2 by Vi is nothing but the transfer function of amplifier circuit. So if you consider that, this we have already calculated in the previous circuit, so that you will be having as A into R2 by R1 plus R2 into 1 plus J into F1. So this is the transfer function of feedback network in pole zero combination, whereas this is the amplifier transfer function. So if we combine both these things, you will be having the overall gain of the circuit to be like this. So if you combine these two things, you will be having 1 plus J into F by F1, and in denominator 1 plus J into F by F1 get cancelled. So if we cancel these two things, you will be having the overall gain to be AOL by 1 plus J into F by F0 into 1 plus J into F by F2 plus 1 by J into F by F3. And we are considering this ratio R2 by R1 plus R2 is approximately equal to 1, since we are assuming R2 is much greater than R1. So with this assumption, you will be getting overall gain of a circuit to be this one. So here we have 3 points. So if you plot graph for this circuit, you will be having the frequency response or magnitude response as like this. So from this graph, if you plot all the 3 points, you will be having F0 is the pole zero compensation initiating frequency, and you will be having F1, F2 and F3, 3 frequencies. So from this, if you draw the magnitude response or this gain value, you will be getting from this F0 directly, you will be having a plotting to F2. So here F1 will not come into the picture as it is cancelled. So this reduces the gain, but compared to the dominant pole, the gain of a circuit is increased along with bandwidth. So here bandwidth is also increased as well as gain also increased. So the main drawback in this circuit is it increases the loop gain. So in dominant pole, if you see, in dominant pole, the bandwidth is reduced, whereas in pole zero compensation, loop gain is increased. Again, both the external compensation techniques are not satisfied. So it is particularly used whenever we require increase in loop gain. We will be going for pole zero compensation technique, whereas whenever we require less bandwidth, then we are going for the first dominant pole compensation technique. Next, we will see what is feed forward compensation technique. So in feed forward compensation technique, the capacitor is used to bypass a stage in amplifier at high frequencies. So hence, this eliminates the pole that stage creates. Therefore, the purpose of these 3 methods is to allow greater open loop bandwidth, still maintaining amplifier closed loop stability. These are often used to compensate. This feed forward compensating technique is used oftenly to compensate high gain wide bandwidth amplifiers. So next we go for internal compensation technique. So this internal compensation technique consists of inbuilt compensating circuit. So totally it is available in the form of ICs. We will see the modern operational amplifiers have internal compensation technique. So in internal compensation technique, a small feedback capacitor is connected inside the op-amp IC itself between second stage and common emitter transistor. Whereas this coupling capacitor connected between Q5 and Q10 is called as the compensation capacitor. So this capacitor improves the stability of the amplifier, thereby preventing oscillation and ringing effect across the output. So the readily available IC with the internal compensation is IC LM393, in which compensation capacitor is in inbuilt that provides stability of a circuit with IC itself. So since it consists of within the circuit, it doesn't require any additional circuitry. So we will see how this LM393 consists of. So this is the internal circuit diagram of LM393 IC. So here we have used CC, that is compensating capacitor, which reduces the circuit to produce oscillations and maintains the bandwidth to be high. Therefore, it provides the internal compensation. That means compensation for stability within the circuit or IC itself. So from this topic, we can expect the assignment questions are what is meant by frequency compensation and explain about pole zero compensation technique. So this question is being asked in the previous question papers for 7 marks. But it can be asked for other technique also. That means what is meant by frequency compensation and explain about dominant pole compensation technique. So it can be asked in either way for pole zero compensation or dominant pole compensation. Otherwise, it can be asked for within the same question. It will be asked for describe the two types of compensation techniques, or what are the types of compensation techniques that are available, and explain them. So this question you can expect it directly for 7 marks. And alternate question, we have other question from this topic are from this discussion. You will be having stability of an op-amp. So this stability concept has to be written for 7 marks in detail. Next you will be having explain the concept of frequency compensation. So in this circuit also you are going to write the same thing whatever you are writing for question number 1. That is, here we are going to explain what is meant by frequency compensation and what are the types of frequency compensation techniques that are available and how it is implemented. All these things has to be written in this question for 7 marks. So these are the 3 expected questions that will be asked for final exams. Thank you.